Oh, that was fast. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I also realized that sometimes it goes live before it says live. So in one of our lives, they could hear some of our sentences beforehand. So little insight. And you're right, Lesley. Lesley informed me before we went live that my LinkedIn account, so it's saying to click here to oh, yeah. Give me 1 second, because guess what? I don't think I did. I want to go live on Instagram first. And it won't let me fix LinkedIn, so I'll do that later. So, all right, welcome everybody. You guys know me. I'm Nancy Ganzikofer, business coach and body language trainer to interior designers, helping them be profitable and run an exemplary business every single day. And I am here with my associate coach, Lesley Myrick, who's also an active interior designer like you guys. So welcome, Lesley.
Thank you. I am always happy to be here on Thursdays with you. And I love these profitable interior designer conversations because we get down to the good stuff quickly.
Yeah, a lot of what we talk about here on Thursdays is what we're doing behind the scenes in our groups, right? And teaching people how to do things properly so that you're not just running a hobby and running yourself ragged and not having a well-balanced life, that you can actually make money as an interior designer who works normal hours. Can you imagine that? Okay, so let's talk today about how do you know if you're profitable as an interior designer? So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, there are 3 things that we are going to talk about today, 3 areas that are really important for you to be charging appropriately for and know if you're profitable. And that's your consultations, your design fee and project management fee, and a margin on furnishings. But let's start with the consultation, because Nancy, you are a firm believer in paid consultations, full stop. Dive into that a little bit.
You know what? When I first became a coach, a lot of designers did not charge for consultations. And one of the biggest complaints is that I'm not getting the respect from the client. They're milking me for information. I'm giving of myself fully, and I'm not getting the job afterwards. And a lot of times it's because they were tire kickers, as people know them. They just want to ask you some questions as a designer bestie and not pay you for it. And what you're sharing in a consultation, I mean, think about it. You're sharing tips, your intellectual property, things that are going to save them time, things that are going to save them money, and obviously a lot of mistakes that they could make, time, money, and mistakes, right? So that's all happening in just the consultation. So if the client was not to move forward past the consultation, you've just given them some great knowledge that will do these things for them for no charge. So that's number 1. But number 2 is that you are establishing right from the beginning that I am a business, not a hobby, and one that deserves respect, and that is a valuable business. That's what you do when you establish that initial paid consultation. If you're serious about hiring me, the first step is hiring me for what I do well. And if they don't want to do that, often it's because they are just trying to milk as much information out of you as they can, and maybe other multiple designers as well, and then go off and do it themselves. You've had that. You used to not charge for consultations. Everyone started there.
I didn't, because I looked at it as a competitive edge. Like, well, if someone's going to charge and I'm free, they're going to go with me. And I can remember one time, my firstborn, my son, was really little, and I agreed to do a 1-hour meeting with a potential client on a Saturday, Nancy. This is before I was coaching with you. And I remember going to this meeting and thinking I can do this in an hour. And of course it went 2, because I wasn't going to awkwardly leave when I was trying to sell myself for the job. And it ended up being this essentially 2-hour full consultation where I was sharing my knowledge, ideas, recommendations on a Saturday for free while my baby was at home. Yes. And spoiler alert, I didn't get the job. And that was such a huge learning lesson for me, because they did not take me seriously. And I know there's the argument of, well, other designers are doing a consultation for free. Okay, let them.
Yes.
You are better than that. Your ideas, your knowledge, your expertise is worth more than that. And your consultation fee is part of your brand and your brand perception. Yes. If you say you are a luxury designer or a high-end designer and you're charging $95 for a consultation, or you're doing it for free, it's misaligned to people and they don't understand it. I had a client recently where we did a paid consult, and my consultations are not cheap. And when it went to the design fee proposal, it was expensive. And he just went, okay. And I said, great. He's like, well, I knew you were going to be expensive. Your consultation was $750. I was like, okay, good. We're all in alignment here. So truly, your consultation fee is part of your brand and how you are perceived by clients. High-end clients value paying professionals for high-end service and a great experience. So keep that in mind when you are pricing your business, making sure you're profitable. It's not only okay to charge for consultations, I would argue it is essential for your business and for your brand to be charging well for that 2-hour session with a client, because it is a working session.
Yes, it's not, we're not calling it a meet and greet. We're actually saying you're going to give some of your intellectual property away. You're going to share your ideas, your excitement, your thoughts. They may be preliminary ideas, but they're still helping the client create their vision. And I always say, think about it. If you are a serious person about hiring a designer and you are checking out 2 designers, and one charges nothing for a 2-hour consultation and the other one charges $350, $550, $750, whatever it is. You may go to that free one first, but it's going to bug you that how can she charge $350, $550, $750 for a consult? She must be really good. Like, maybe we should call her in like once, right? We'll just do it once, but we'll hire the one that, and just get her ideas. But in the end, then you're really good at what you do. They love you. They fall in love with your brand, which is your personality and who you are as a business owner. And they go with you. So getting in that door with a paid consultation is a whole different start of your ladder of services than going in for free and them just thinking you're always going to be free, and then possibly negotiable also, because, well, if she did it for free, she can give us a couple more hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Nancy, we have a question on Instagram. Someone's asking me specifically, what are your deliverables after a consult if you're charging $750? That's a bit of a side question, but I do just want to say more so than if I were only charging $350. I do send documentation after. I send my notes. I send follow-up. If I've done any floor plans or sketches, I make sure that all goes to the client. So that's a really good point to note too, is that your fee, your rate for your consult also has to be in alignment with what the experience is and what the deliverables are to your client.
100%. Absolutely. All right. What was point number 2? Let me bring up my calendar again. Do
you charge a design fee and project management fee?
Okay, I'm going to start with this one because I've heard so many times, isn't the margin on the furnishings covering me for the project management? Isn't the margin on the furnishings what I use to pay myself to order, track, deliver, finishing touches, everything else? For some designers, but for the smarter designers, no, because you can actually make more money and give more exemplary service without resentment if you're getting paid to do it. So having a design fee, which we teach the hybrid model, flat design fee, variable project management fee, you're protecting yourself, you're making money. And I know this is tip number 3, your margin on your furnishings is for your years of research, education, your trips to High Point, your meeting with the reps, maintaining your library, teaching your staff, if you have a staff, your favorite vendors, trying out, figuring out the quality of their furnishings while keeping up on the latest and greatest trends in every style that you design in. Why shouldn't you make a profit on the furnishings for that and a fee for the project managing of moving this to this location, that location, and dealing with all the trouble that it takes to get something ordered from point A to point B?
Yes.
Okay. So we did a big pricing masterclass yesterday for those who have purchased the key, the designer's pricing tool that we created, which is really changing so many lives. I can't wait for more people to have it in their hands. And we went over all of this, and you could see the faces. They were like, I didn't realize that I could.
Yes.
Right. So I think the first step to running a really profitable interior design business is understanding all the different categories that it's okay for you to charge, and then gaining the confidence and understanding to teach the clients why you charge what you do and what the actual deliverables are going to be. Yes. Right. It's talking. I love when you say that the whole talk money early, say that.
Yeah, I think I have learned, not just think, I've learned the hard way, discuss money early and often. it can be uncomfortable, but I would much rather be very upfront with my clients about how our pricing works, what our pricing is, what their investment's going to be, and get their buy-in right at the beginning. And then we don't have to worry about it for the rest of the project. We've
Yes.
established it. We're all on the same page. I used to do it where I would start a project, I would spend whatever hours working on the design, give them the detailed design package, and they had no idea if they were going to be seeing something that was $20,000 or $120,000 on those invoices. And
Yes.
that was painful to have projects end at that point where clients just went, absolutely not, we're not going forward.
I know.
And I mean, I'm so honest about that because it's important to know, like, I'm not sitting here as a coach having done everything perfectly. I've made so many pricing mistakes, but that's why I love to be able to share this with designers, because I can tell you what has worked for me and I know it will help others as well. You just have to talk money early.
Yes.
What are you planning to invest in this project? I have no idea. Okay, well, if we were to come in at 250,000, oh, that's way too high. Okay. So, typically our living room furnishings investments are about $40,000 to $60,000. Does that sound reasonable to you? And start having those discussions and just get real about that. Get real about your process, how you charge, what you charge. Get that buy-in at the beginning. And if they say no, I'm telling you, it is way better that they say no at the beginning. Yes. Rather than there are walls torn down and angry clients and a lot of legal messiness that can happen at that point.
Yeah. And it's hard. I mean, obviously some of our clients go for really big jobs and we're all excited. They priced it out and they're going to get it and they hope, and then they have a disappointment that the client actually cannot afford them. So there's tricks to try to get a part of the job or this and that. But if it's an actual no, it has to be like, you know what? It's okay, because that was probably a good miss. Somehow there was not an alignment of my company policies with the way that client wants to work with me. We have a question on Instagram on my side as well. Angela, I recently launched virtual consulting. What's the best way to promote? That's a whole different topic, Rachel, but this, Angela, but the second half is what's a good fee to charge? You'll see in the key, if you own the key, how we say design only should be charged, right? And there's very little difference. I'll give you the one global tip. Yeah. The difference should be practically none, except for a couple of driving experiences to the person's house. You're doing all the same work virtually that you're doing if you're doing it in person for the design phase. If your deliverables are the same, that means the hours for those deliverables are the same, except for driving to their house and presenting it in person, but you still possibly present it virtually if you do that. So it is based on how long things take you, but it also is based on how long things should take you, which is what we have the key for. We give recommendations per room, how long the design phase takes on average for most designers based on Lesley and I's 45, 50 years of experience combined. Okay, so that's what the key is actually for. Let me just see. Oh, somebody said, I want to cry. I have the masterclass in my calendar for today, but it was yesterday.
Oh, no.
No, I told her with everyone who registered for the pricing masterclass, which were those who purchased the key, the masterclass came as a bonus, or you registered for the masterclass and got the key. Those replays being sent out this morning. It was a 3-hour class and it took a long time for that recording to upload into our system. So we're checking now to see if we can send it out soon. Yeah. So you'll be getting it. So, all right, we're still uploading. It's a monster file, but we'll get it out to everyone who registered. Yeah. All right, Lesley. So how does somebody tell whether they're profitable or not on the furnishings, whether they're profitable about in the overall job? What do we teach our people to do?
First things first, track your hours. I don't care if you're flat fee from start to finish, whatever, you need to be tracking your time. Because without that data, you actually have no idea if you're profitable. You might think you're charging X an hour, but by the time you actually realize how many hours you've put in, we see a lot of designers having their eyes opened wide to the fact that they are not making $200 an hour. They're making $58. So that's our first tip. The second tip is Nancy has an amazing free resource on her website called the Job Profitability Analyzer. If you've purchased the key, it comes with it as well. There's an easy link for you there. If you don't have the key, go to Nancy's website, check out free resources. This Job Profitability Analyzer will have you put in a few pieces of data at the end of the project. What was the spend for the project? What were the expenses? what were your hours, and it will spit out a really helpful bit of data that actually shows you what did you actually make on this project, what is your profit margin on the project, and what is your profit margin specifically on furnishings too. These are all numbers that you need to know to actually know if you're profitable, because there's so many designers that feel like, well, I charge $250 an hour, but I'm not making money. They run the numbers and realize, oh, like something's got to change here with my pricing, with my service model, with how I'm running this business. So
Yes.
if you are feeling like, hey, wait, I should be making money and I'm not, and I want to know why, go get that free tool because it is incredibly helpful. Put your last 2 or 3 jobs, just guess. If you don't have exact numbers, it's okay. And start to get real. This is the kind of stuff that if you bury your head in the sand, your business will not survive.
Well, I mean, think about it. One of the women in the masterclass, I loved her. She's like, I've been in business 30 years and I've never made like decent money. And I'm like, really? Like, okay, let's teach you how to charge and understand the conversations behind it also. And here's what I thought was what people don't always understand. I have 2 points. One is sometimes the smaller jobs make you more money hourly or make a higher profit because you are doing it properly within your boundaries and your parameters. And the larger jobs, you are afraid to quote properly. So you quote underneath what you should. And then you're afraid because it's such a big job and they're spending so much money, you're afraid to go back for that additional laundry room that they asked you to do, that they didn't ask you to do. And in the end, your hourly rate when you're done with the job ends up being much lower than you thought. But here's the beauty of the way we're teaching you in this hybrid model. When you charge for your consult, which your hours are going towards, you charge for a design fee as a flat fee, you can do it faster. You get better. We were teaching a little bit about efficient sourcing yesterday. People were like, what? Right? You get better at that. You make a larger hourly fee during the design phase. You get your project management fee, which is your regular hourly fee. But then you're getting the margin on your furnishings, right? So when you roll in all of that, in our example yesterday, the designer actually made $800 an hour because of all. So it wasn't, they were trying to make $150 an hour. It literally, once you add all those buckets up, you make so much more money. So doing it properly, and you're not screwing the client. This is literally what your value should be for exemplary service. How do you get, okay, I have to address this. How do you get exemplary service? Do you get the exemplary service first and then start charging more, which hangs up a lot of designers? You need money sometimes in order to provide exemplary service, right? You might need help, an employee. So which comes first, the cart or the horse?
Yeah.
Right? Change your pricing first and fill in the service that justifies that price as you go along. There's no better day than today. There's no reason to wait till January 1st or September 1st after the holidays. Like, today is the day you start charging properly, because after today, then you will start making the money you're supposed to make. That's my little speech for the day. So
I love it.
I know. All right. So tell everyone where to go to get their profitability analyzer if they want to see whether they're actually profitable.
Yes. Go to nancyganzikoffer.com and you will see a link for free resources. We're also going to have the link in the descriptions wherever you are watching this video, the direct link to get that free resource page. And there's other free resources there too. We have a lot of great freebies available. So peek around, see what's going to be helpful for you in your business.
Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to be going through the free resources, and those that aren't being used, we're going to kind of get rid of. So if you are interested in grabbing anything before it disappears, go to my free resources, download whatever you think you may use now or in the future, because we're going to start culling that down just because it just gets to be too much after a while.
This one's not going anywhere. This profitability analyzer, I mean, this is one of the most valuable tools I use in my business after each project is over.
I tell everyone it's the starting point for me figuring out where in your business you need help.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Because if you're not making what you're supposed to be making, there's a problem somewhere. There's a problem in sales, marketing, communication, pricing, understanding how to source properly. There's a problem somewhere if you are not making enough money. So, all right, everyone, go have a great Thursday. Lesley and I will see you next Thursday. And of course, we're live throughout the week with some of our sponsors. Tag us in any comments if you would like us to weigh in any of the forums that you're watching live. And you can watch all of these all these videos in channels. Like, you can go to the Profitable Interior Designer channel on my YouTube station, which is Nancy Ganscoffer. So go check it out. Follow me there, and then you'll get notification of all the videos that Lesley and I do. Okay. All right. See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Have a good week.